Welcome to part 4 of the Richest Man in Babylon audiobook summary, the final and perhaps most powerful section in this timeless journey toward financial wisdom. In this episode, we explore how to get out of debt and stay out, the importance of financial mentorship, the final lessons Arkad passed on to his son, and how to create lasting wealth, the kind that serves generations. Let's complete the journey. Chapter 1. The Chariot Builder and the Way to Debt, 045 to 7 o'clock. In Babylon, there lived a skilled chariot builder named Dabasir. He made beautiful chariots but had fallen into deep debt. Though he earned well, his spending always outpaced his income. He borrowed from friends, merchants, and lenders, and soon no one would trust him. His reputation collapsed. He ran from his debts and tried to start fresh in another city. But guilt followed him everywhere. One night, sitting in shame, Dabasir remembered what he had learned from Arkad. A man's soul is sick when he cannot face his debts. And so, he returned to Babylon, ready to make things right. He met with each creditor and offered this honest plan. He would live on 70% of his income, save 10%, and use 20% to repay his debts, one by one. Over time, he rebuilt trust, cleared his debts, and restored his name. This story teaches us debt is a burden of the mind as much as the wallet, but with courage, discipline, and a plan, it can be overcome. Chapter 2. Mentorship, Passing on the Wealth Wisdom. As Arkad grew old, his focus turned from building wealth to teaching others how to build their own. The king of Babylon asked Arkad to create a program to teach financial wisdom to citizens. Arkad agreed, but he wanted to start with a small group of young men who would be tested. He handpicked a few students and gave each one a small sum of gold. But instead of telling them what to do, he challenged them. Grow this gold using what you've learned from me. Make mistakes. Learn, but return with wisdom. Some spent foolishly and lost everything. Some hoarded the money out of fear and gained nothing. But a few invested wisely, learned from failure, and grew their gold steadily. Arkad gathered them months later and reviewed their results, praising those who applied the 5 laws of gold, rules that we covered in earlier episodes. Save at least 10% of what you earn. Invest wisely so your money multiplies. Protect your investments with knowledge. Avoid investments that sound too good to be true. Grow your ability to earn through education and skill. This method of learning by doing and mentorship over handouts was revolutionary, and it's a strategy that still applies today. Chapter 3. The Legacy of Wealth, Thinking Generationally. One of Arkad's most important lessons was about legacy. He taught that true wealth is not just about what you leave behind. It's about what you teach while you're still here. He believed every man and woman has a duty to build wealth, not just for comfort, but for future security. Pass down financial principles, not just gold, and raise children with discipline and knowledge, not just inheritance. Wealth built on wisdom outlasts gold passed without guidance. Arkad made sure his son, no macer, didn't inherit wealth immediately. Instead, he gave him a small amount and expected him to prove he could grow it before receiving more. No macer succeeded, not because of luck, but because of the teachings his father passed on. As a result, Arkad created a family legacy rooted in knowledge, not entitlement. Chapter 4. Final words from the richest man in Babylon. As Arkad neared the end of his life, he was asked to give one final message to the people of Babylon. Here's a paraphrased version of what he said. Wealth is a choice, not made in a day, but made daily. Choose to spend less than you earn. Choose to invest in your future, not your pleasures. Choose to listen to wise men, not tempting voices. Choose to learn every day, every year, for all your life. For wealth is not in the gold we hold, but in the discipline we practice. Chapter 5. Applying Babylon's wisdom today. The world has changed dramatically since Babylon, but human nature has not. People still spend more than they earn, chase riches without planning, fall into debt traps, and ignore sound advice until it's too late. But those who succeed follow principles like Arkad's. They budget. They invest slowly and wisely. They live below their means. And they teach others. This book reminds us that money doesn't change who you are. It reveals who you are. If you master your habits, your thoughts, and your behavior, wealth will follow. Final thoughts. Building your own Babylon. The Richest Man in Babylon is more than just a book. It's a roadmap, ancient but still accurate. It teaches that anyone, regardless of background, can create wealth by living below their means, saving consistently, investing with knowledge, avoiding get-rich-quick schemes, and being patient. Arkad, Dabasir, no Macer, they were all people just like us. What made them different was not luck, but discipline and long-term thinking. You can start today. No matter your income, no matter your past, the principles are the same. So as we close this audiobook summary, ask yourself, am I saving at least 10% of what I earn? Am I investing in things I understand? Am I planning for my future and teaching those I love? Because Babylon may be gone, but its wisdom lives on in those who choose to follow it. Thank you for listening to this 4-part series on the richest man in Babylon. If it inspired you, share it, apply it, and most importantly, live it. Your journey to wealth doesn't start with money. It starts with a decision.